Man,
All right.
hold on. I gotta get these pop-ups I'm not gonna even mess with them. Gotta get this one up.
Nice. All right. All right. Ready for me to do the countdown?
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. In five, four, three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. How you doing, Wander?
I am great. A little tired, a little hot, but I'm great. What about you, Lawrence?
I am great as well too. Been doing a lot of things today. Had a very, very busy day. Very hot outside, so I can't complain.
Absolutely, I can't. It's not gonna do us any good. We say that often, but it won't do a bit of good because everybody got something to complain about.
That is true. That is true. I believe someone said a while ago, which is true. Any day above ground is a good day.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and I'm grateful. Help because I was dealing with sciatica. I don't know if you've ever dealt with that, man. And I'm a natural person, man. But I shout out to Curinol. I had not had any for like a couple of months. I started using like another form of turmeric, and I was using. I don't take medication, so I ended up taking some ibuprofen. And I don't fool with medication, but it worked. But after a while, it didn't work. And I'm like, I had to think like, what was I using? I was exercising all the time. It was the turmeric, and I want to get that turmeric. And I promise you, 1,000 milligrams. I take two of them uh, in the morning and two in the evening. I could do cartwheels. Well, not exactly, but I could do cartwheels.
Hey, that's a good thing though.
Yes. Shout out to Curinol.
Well, Wonder, I am going to let you start off the topics today.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. The first hot topic that we're going to talk about is, and I'm sure our viewers have heard this, the U.S. Supreme Court's most significant and recent ruling on redistricting. It was this April of 2026. Decision in Louisiana versus, I believe it's called Callisia, Callais. And what happened by it won 6-3 votes, and the justice struck down the Louisiana congressional map, narrowing the use of race as a primary factor in drawing electoral districts under the Voting Rights Act. So the core ruling, the Supreme Court sided with plaintiffs who challenged the Louisiana congressional map, which had been redrawn to include a second majority black district. The court determined the map was unconstitutional and racial gerrymander. Writing the majority, Justice Samuel Alito clarified that while Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act protect voters from intentional discrimination, it does not mandate the states prioritize race to create majority/minority districts if legitimate and non-racial redistricting reasons exist. My God.
Mm.
Now, the key takeaways: strict scrutiny. The decision severely restricts the ability of states to explicitly use race as a dominant factor when configuring legislative and congressional district boundaries. Voter Rights Act interpretation. The court established that lower courts had misinterpreted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. The justices ruled that states cannot be forced to draw maps primarily based on race to increase the number of minority held seats. Last thing, the midterm fallouts. The ruling's timing triggered immediate political and legal consequences ahead of the midterm election. It disrupted existing maps in Louisiana and prompted substantial legitimate regarding the use of previously blocked maps in other states like Alabama. And there was a lot impacting that. Your thoughts?
Well, the real sad part about this is you're starting to see a new trend where instead of, the ads and going out to the people trying to earn votes, they're trying to win elections through the court system. And you're starting to see this all across the United States. Everything from redistricting the maps to coming up with laws that make it more difficult to vote. And the real sad part about this, Wander, is that it's kind of flying below the radar. I don't think a lot of people are, with all the craziness that's going on right now, I don't think people are really paying attention to what's going on. And even though it's really bad how they're doing this and what they're doing, I still believe that it's very important to get out and vote. Don't let anyone tell you that your vote is not important, because one of the things that I point out is if your vote was not so important, they would not be fighting so hard and putting so much money in to try and change your vote and try and keep you from voting and make it difficult for your voting. So that tells you how important your vote is. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Oh, absolutely. And you just said a mouthful, because for so long I have always been an advocate for voting. And it's like when you don't use something, you lose it. And
Mm-hmm.
now we're really on the verge of losing our rights. And when you think about it, 1965 wasn't a long time, because that really was the time that we really started voting. Because before that, they did all the crazy tactics. You had to take these exams. I forget the polls, something, whatever. They had you taking these literacy tests, whatever, and all of these things. Then when people were marching, you had dogs sicked on you. You had water hoses on you for your right to vote. And while people sat down getting handouts, not caring, our life, democracy was slipping right past us. And here it is in 2026. I say this often. We're in 2026. And as you said, so many distractions to keep you from understanding what's happening. Because right now, all those people that did not vote, or the ones that voted in the last election for whomever they voted for, you look at the results that's happening. And so we're at a time now that a lot of people are putting their lives on the line yet again, because history repeats itself. So now it's at a point now, the desperation is happening so bad that all kinds of tactics are being thrown our way for us to be tired of all the nonsense. I don't want to see what's going on. I don't. When you wake up again, and it was said in a conversation, and I looked. I went, what? If we don't have voting in America in November, if the voting stops in November, we could very well have another Trump in the White House. It could be one of his sons. And it was brought up in a conversation. I went like, what? So people are talking about that. If our voting, and I want to know what the people are saying. If you don't get out there and vote, or if this voting is so detrimental to the ones that's trying to keep us from voting, will we have another Trump in the White House? Because now he'd be a king and he can appoint anyone to the White House. So people need to think about that. If this voting, we don't get a chance to vote in November, or something happens, we no longer have a democracy, and the king can put one of his sons in the White House. And that's the talk. If it's not out in the open right now, that is the talk behind the scenes, that he can now put his son in the White House, one of his sons.
Yeah, I would say 8 years ago, I would say that, no, I don't believe that. But, you know, it's been so crazy over the last few years.
Think about it.
There's no such thing as norms anymore.
No,
And one of the things that I would really, really encourage people to do, there's a movie short that came out a few years ago. It's called Otis's Dream. And basically what it does, it talks about um, Otis the third, I think the Otis the first, because his son, I think, took over the church, and then I think his grandson is now there. But basically, it's called Otis's Dream. It stars this gentleman by the name of Christopher Greer, is actually a friend of mine, and it shows you a picture of what we had to go through just to vote, how difficult they made it to vote, the things that we had to overcome to vote. And I think that a lot of people, especially younger people, because they haven't been exposed to these stories and things, they don't realize how valuable that vote really is. And I encourage people, if you get a chance, watch that movie. It's definitely worth it. I mean, it's a short, so it's not very long. It's probably 10 or 15 minutes long. It's worth watching.
wow. Because, and what people don't understand, what happened in Louisiana, 6 congressional districts, and only one was majority black, even though blacks represent and make up 1/3 of that state. The courts previously said that likely violated the Voters' Rights Act of 1965 because black voting power may have been weakened. So now there would be no representation, and different states will be doing that. So this is how this can happen. So if people don't get out and vote, my one vote don't count. Maybe your one vote probably won't count now. Yeah, I pray that's not the case, but they are taking away votes to represent minorities. And we won't have, even though we go out there and vote, our vote is dead. You won't have anyone that look like us that would represent us in some of these states where it's been gerrymandered.
Yeah, I agree. It's much difficult, but I guess I still have hope that our vote really does still count, regardless of what they're trying to do. I
Oh,
still
I
see that,
believe it. Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah.
like I said, no matter what's going on, please, please, please do not get so discouraged that you don't vote, because that's the worst thing you can do. So,
That's what they want you to do.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, Wonder, what is the next topic?
Our next topic is I got that one. The next topic, oh, the Florida. Oh my God! Just on the news today, about the young lady. There was a altercation, and see, this is another thing with the temperature rising with everybody, and it's really hot out there now. Well, there's a video that's going viral where this woman uh, was arguing with a man, a 62-year-old man. That this young lady, she was a African American woman, and she got to arguing with a man over a parking spot. So we got to be careful about this road rage. And he got into the spot, but he kind of covered up. You know how somebody put the over the line, they got that wheel over the line, but she still managed her way to get in there. But because of the temperature in the United States and where everybody is, she pulled out a gun, and she was telling the man what she was going to do. She was on the phone. The man had walked away, but then he came back to her, and he was walking up on her, and all you can see is her with this gun, and she shoots the man and kills him. Now this is in Florida, where Trayvon Martin was, who was shot for a bag of Skittles. He had a bag of Skittles in his hand. So Florida is a stand your ground. And if they feel that if someone is threatening you or whatever, you have a right to carry a gun. Now this goes to a whole different level. Everybody's got a gun. Everybody ended up with a gun, like Florida. So she ended up killing the man, and then she got out. She was not. They let her go. So this story is going to be an ongoing story. But she's not. She was no longer. They did not hold her because she felt, and the video showed the man was approaching her.
The thing too, Wander, is I actually saw the video as well. And when I first heard the story, I'm like, come on, now why'd you have to kill the guy? I mean, seriously. But
Yes.
then when you look at the video, oh, I see why. Because for people who haven't seen this, please see the video first before you pass judgment.
Yes.
But it's nothing like Trayvon Martin. The gentleman that killed Trayvon Martin, he followed him. Trayvon Martin was no threat. In
Right.
this situation, the other driver walked up. Personally, I don't know why you would walk up on someone with a gun pointed at you,
Yeah.
but she warned him several times, please stop coming towards me. If you come towards me again, I'm going to open fire. I'm going to shoot. And for whatever reason, he didn't believe it. So it's, I mean, for her sake, thank goodness that there was video that captured it, because otherwise it would have been his word, her word
Yes.
against,
Yes.
what other people think or what the police say.
Right.
So
Right.
it's good that there was a video that caught the encounter. It's always sad when someone loses their life, but at the same token too, I mean, come on. Why are you walking up on someone with a gun? What did you expect was going to happen? Again, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm not
Right.
saying it's a good or bad thing, but come on now. I mean, seriously.
And we have to be very, very, very careful. Like I say, everything is alleged that we talk about on the show. So we're going to just put that out the way right now. We talk about things allegedly. This is what's going on, and the temperature and the atmosphere of the world right now, it's in an uproar. People are angry about this, they're angry about that, and they want to take um their frustrations out on what they think are the weaker people. But that's really crazy. And I just make this a personal story. I can remember it was some years ago. I'd been in church all day, and I remember going to Kentucky where my daughter was. She was at Western Kentucky. On my way up there after all these being in church all day, and I'm sitting back. I got my son. I got my goddaughter in the car, and we were in McDonald's, and we were ordering the food and everything. And what happened? I had stuff on my mind, right? And I looked down. All of my clocks are 10, maybe 15 minutes fast. So I'm always in a hurry. And I looked at my clock and it was fast. I'm like, well, I got to get back to Nashville, right? So
Mhm.
I'm blowing my horn. Well, this chick gets out the car. What the Blake, what? Man, miss you. And I bagged my car up and I run around her and went to the window.
Mhm.
So I guess she was waiting. The people inside was training somebody. They heard the altercation outside, right? So I'm at the window. She slides through the thing and shows a gun. I'm still mad. I ain't have nothing. And it was just dumb. But the lady, they just gave me some food and I drove off. And when I turned around, I could see the kids in the back of the cars. It was nonsense. It
Yeah.
didn't make any sense. And I said, if I ever saw that girl again, because I had just left church, you hear me? And some stuff was on my mind already. I was angry about something else. That's why I said road rage is real. And
Yeah.
I prayed to God. And don't you know, the next morning I got up watching the news. Don't care where you are, Chicago, Nashville. Open up the news. Two girls at Kroger's fighting over a shopping cart. One girl shot the other girl the
Mm.
next day. So it was a warning for me. It doesn't, man, I don't care. People blow a stop sign. I'm just being careful. So we have to be very, very careful. And to be in a state like Florida, stand your ground. Everybody, and not just Florida, I think Texas too.
Yeah.
Because I got some friends in Texas and they all got guns.
It's true. It's true.
So, yeah, so this is crazy. It's not worth it. It's just not
And, and
worth it.
and the crazy thing about it is, I get it. Everyone gets mad every so often. I do too.
Yeah,
We're all human. But we shouldn't be so quick to pull the gun out. The gun is actually supposed to be for protection, not, okay, I'm pissed off at you, so I'm going to shoot you. That's not why you're supposed to have the gun. Okay.
right, right.
Self defense. And I just hope that the temperature in this country, and it goes back to something that you said earlier, is the temperature in this country is incredibly high, where it doesn't take much for people to want to fight, want to shoot. And it's like, wow, is it really that serious? And it doesn't have to be about anything really important either.
Yeah, one thing I can say, it was kind of back in March, I think it was, and I went to an event in central Wisconsin. I was the only black person in there. I had my rock T-shirt on, and it was like a little tournament. They started drinking beer by 9 o'clock in the morning. So by the time the evening came, and the people that I was with, we were right next to someone. So the guy said he had his shirt on, and I don't know what he was, but he had his hat on with the cross on and everything. And he said, "Let me ask you something. What is ROC Studio?" So that was my opportunity to explain what my platform was, Rock Restore Our Community. I interview individuals and organizations making a difference. It was like E.F. Hutton, because I think the whole day, because this was like 6 in the evening now, because we came at 9. So I was the only African American, about 600 people up in there. I didn't hold my head down. I wasn't afraid. I was with other Caucasian people there, so I felt safe with them. But I was just myself. And I had a teachable moment when I was able to talk about my organization. And he said, "Well, you talk about," I said, I don't get too deep on religion or politics because that could be a sticky thing. I talk about the good, what people are doing. And before the man gave me a hug,
Mm.
the man gave me a hug. So, yeah, so it's about not what you do, but it's how you do it and how you approach it. Because we're supposed to be the ones that's leading by example, right? So yeah, tough
That was actually a
situation.
great moment there. That was a really great moment.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Well, depending on if you like or dislike the next person we're going to discuss, well, LeBron James has officially informed the Los Angeles Lakers that he will not be returning for the next season. So, the 41-year-old superstar who turns 42 in December is seeking another championship ring to close out his historic career, and multiple reports indicate that the Golden State Warriors are actively preparing to pursue him. Other potential landing spots making headlines include a return to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Don't know how that's going to work out. Also, a reunion in Miami or a completely new chapter with teams like the San Antonio Spurs. So, this is interesting. Now, I don't know how much you pay attention to basketball here.
Not a lot.
Well, I'm quite sure you know who LeBron James is,
Yes, I
right?
know who. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Well, I know that a lot of people, some people love him, some people hate him.
Yeah,
There's really no middle ground for whatever reason when it comes to LeBron James. Actually, I think he's a great guy.
I do too.
Um, he's a great ball player. Okay, no question about it. But what I also like about him too is the things he does off the courts, the school that he built, how he helps people, how he helps the parents of the children that goes there, and all the other philanthropy stuff that he does as well too. So I think that makes him a whole entire person. He's not just a ball player, and also he's a businessman as well too. So what do you think, Wander? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm like you. If it's true, uh, this will be an end of an era. It'll be an end of an era. And love him, I hate him, as you said. I don't know that much about him, but what I've seen, as you said, have been all positive things. I think everybody have somebody that's not going to like you for whatever reason,
Mhm.
or whatever. But 24 seasons, that's really unheard of. When you think about that's just really unheard of. So I'm just gonna be excited wherever it leads him. Like you said, Los Angeles, or whether he goes to the Spurs or any of those people. But the real conversation though is in sports, just like life. There comes a season when you have to know when to move on. And I'm in the
True.
process of that right now with my rebranding. So, it's sometimes, and you don't want to be broken down. And that's what's wrong with some preachers. They go to, oh, look at past stuff there. You got to know, you got to know when to let go. Sometimes God has fired you, and some folk are still on the job, right? So I think it's a good, it's whatever his wishes are, whatever his desires are, it's going to be great. It's going to be great because he's already done some great things, and he's only 41 years old, so he's still got some living to do.
Yeah, that's true. And it's crazy to say this out loud, but 41 is young, but in basketball years, it's very old.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And one of the things that some players do, not all, some players hang around a little bit too long in the league, and people start remembering when you left the league as opposed to all the great things you've done over your
yeah. So
career.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to be careful about that. I'm not saying that will or will not happen with them, but that is
Hmm.
something to consider. And
Yeah.
being that I am a Chicago Bulls fan, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It'd be kind of nice if he came to the Bulls. He could come there. He can
What?
teach the young ones, bring them on board, bring them up to speed and everything. Again, I know it's a long shot, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that would be nice because I mean the Bulls can definitely use a few good men on their team. They really could. But overall, like I said, I like LeBron's, and and the thing about it in sports, just like life, you just got to know when your season is up, either on a team or moving to your next chapter, maybe coaching. Who knows? Like you say, with the school, who's to say
It's
that he
true.
won't build a school of LeBrons? Is
That's
just
true.
saying.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah,
And what's nice about LeBron James is that he has options to consider. Now,
absolutely.
some people are probably going to say, well, the Lakers wasn't going to re-sign him. We don't know that. We don't know that. I would just say that I wish him luck, whether he stays with the Lakers or whether he moves on to another team. But just putting it out there,
So
hey,
how many teams? How many teams has he been on? He started with whom?
I want to say he started with the Cleveland Cavaliers,
Cavaliers. Yeah, yeah,
then he went to
yeah.
Miami, and then he came to the Lakers.
Okay, I remember in the Heat. Yeah, because was that the Heat and the No, that was probably a long time ago. Anyway, I just remember Michael Jordan. And I remember my pastor, when I was in Nashville, Bishop Walker talked about when he was telling people like to hold on and how Michael Jackson had the flu. He won with the flu. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
my God, he really went back there, And they wanted
Actually,
to put him out. He
actually,
was like,
it's
I think
Michael
him and
Jordan.
Phil, they fell out about that, didn't they?
Yeah, it's Michael Jordan, not Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson never played
No, that's the
basketball.
Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. See, what do I know? Michael Jordan. Thank you
It's
for
okay.
correcting me.
It's okay because I know some people will be like, "Hey, Michael
Michael
Jordan."
Jackson.
I mean Michael Jackson. So
Yeah,
okay, that's okay. But again, I know it's a long, long shot, but it would be kind of cool for him to at least have that conversation. So who knows?
yeah.
Maybe our video would get to his people and I'm like, hey,
Look,
let's talk about the Bulls because I'm quite sure they'll pay for him.
oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Oh my God. Oh, Chicago would lose his mind, man. And so we're not going to talk about the Bears thing yet, but yeah, we would lose we would lose our minds to get him to come here and just enhance some of the other players because they got some pretty good players on there. They just need your team just need that like with Scottie Pippen. That was a really good team. Michael
Oh yeah.
Jordan, Scottie, yeah, yeah. I can't really name them all, but yeah, good deal.
But I would like to pose two questions to our listeners and our viewers. One, where do you think LeBron should go? That's the first one. Number two, where would you like him to go? I'm kind of curious to see what people say about that.
And you know what? Just the way you said it, where would you like them to go? So, the ones that don't like them, you know where they're gonna tell them to go. Yeah, I like the way you put that. It's kind of left it wide open. Yeah, yeah, that'd be interesting to see what the viewers or the listeners would say about that. But I'm happy for him either way because, like I said, I don't dislike him at all. But I just saw the good things that he's doing.
Would you like to see him come to Chicago?
Oh, I would love it. Yeah, no doubt. I would love him. I don't know if that was an option though, but I would love it. Oh my God. And I think even the people that didn't like him here, they would change that. Man, you talking about putting together a team like that? Yes, it would be good.
Yeah, one of the things that we've struggled with, in my opinion, over the years is since we've got out of the Michael Jordan area, we haven't had a true, to me, a true leader of the team. We've had leaders, but not
Yeah.
to the type of caliber of, let's say, a Michael Jordan. And I'm not talking really specifically on talent, but as far as being able to pull everyone together and get the best of everyone, where everyone's working cohesively and winning games.
Well, everybody can't be in the penthouse. So, and I think that's what uh, I think any situation where somebody that was as great as Michael Jordan, that was some hard shoes to fill. Literally Nikes. That's a hard shoe to fill. So yeah, and I guess that energy went to another team somewhere. So yeah, I think that it would definitely be a comeback for the Bulls, a real great comeback.
Well, I tell you, we'll be talking about it once he does land somewhere. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right.
Well, this next topic is, to me, very disturbing. But there's incidents going on where women are increasingly being targeted in a disturbing covert recording trend using Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses. Now, if people haven't heard about these glasses, they're regular glasses, but there's a camera built in the glasses.
Oh,
So the way you know it's one of these glasses is, you have the camera here and there's a light that comes on. But what people are doing is they'll put a little sticker over it. And I probably wouldn't have even noticed it myself, but you clearly see the sticker if you're paying attention and you know you're being recorded. Now that, they said, what these glasses are, how they're used, but what people are doing, and this actually on social media as well, too, is you have guys walking around, they'll try and strike up a conversation and, they'll look at the woman or even look at certain parts of the woman and then put it on social media. I mean, it's very sick. It's very
it
invasive.
is.
And to me, I would say in some states, that's very illegal. You get arrested for them.
Yeah.
But it's very, very troubling. Um, Basically, what they're doing is the harassers and pickup artists use the hidden cameras to film conversations, later posting the footage on social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram for viewers, engagement, or to troll. So there also is some real world impacts to this, like, for example, blackmail attempts. In some reported instances, where wearers have approached women to get their phone numbers and then sent the secret recording of the internet interaction and demand money to keep it off the internet.
Well, you know what? Let me get to the back part of that. I don't care what you got on me. You ain't getting a Quaker. And I mean that. I will be exposed. I would just, man. And you know who I really respected when I get off the topic was David Letterman. Everybody thought that, remember the night that he exposed that these people were trying to blackmail him? Everybody
Yes.
thought it was part of his monologue. So I'm laughing. I said, he's not laughing. He's serious. He explained, yeah, they didn't get a dime out of David Letterman. And you know what? We are living in a time where privacy matters. I just went to a baseball game for kids this past weekend. And the people that I was with, they went to the men's bathroom. I didn't have to go. And so this lady was waiting. And so the guys couldn't get in. I said, well, go ahead and use the women's bathroom because if I got to go, I got to go. As long as I got somebody watching the bathroom for me, if I got to go, because the toilet doesn't discriminate male or female, you know. And so the lady said, oh, no, my grandson's in there. And I'm like, well, I didn't see him at the time. I said, well, it's probably a good thing he was smart enough to lock that door because we were out at a park. We were at
Mm-hmm.
a park. Well, when the kid came out, he looked to be maybe 4 or 5 years old. So he was smart enough to lock that bathroom door, and there was more than one stall in there. The
Mm-hmm.
very next day, Sunday, because this happened last Saturday, the very next day, Sunday, a young boy was molested in the bathroom. And I would tell people all the time, be careful about sending your kids to the bathrooms alone. So for
Yes.
women in these Ray-Ban glasses, this is really not just women, because even though it was a woman they did that to, this is sickening. And you talk about the privacy, that's sickening. And especially for women, and it's a growing fear. It's a growing fear. Even in the hotels, there's a thing out. If you go to your hotel, you get a deck of cards, and if your card doesn't go directly to that window or that mirror, and it's a space between the mirror and that card, that means there's a two-way mirror in your hotel room. Wow, it's a real issue. This is a real issue, man. Oh my God. Thank you for the warning. Ladies, gentlemen, take heed. Go ahead. I don't want to dominate because I go crazy.
No,
God.
but you're right. And even though it's been happening overwhelmingly to women, this could happen to men too.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely need to be aware of that. And then the other thing to be aware of, we don't talk about too, is be careful who's looking at your kids,
Absolutely.
because they could easily try to pull this nonsense with your child. And I would say if someone tries to talk to you and they're wearing glasses, to me, it's not being overly cautious. It's not being, um, hyper worried or anything
Yeah,
about that. You're just watching out for your safety, because literally
absolutely.
you would know instantly if it's a recorded glass, because again, if you see some glasses, because most people, they're not going to have a sticker on their glass. So if you see that sticker
When
in the
you say a
corner,
sticker, what do you mean a sticker?
well, what it is that when you have these recorded glasses, there's a light where the camera is right at the corner. So let me
Oh,
let
they
me
cover the light up.
correct. So
So if
let's
somebody
say
got a
here,
band-aid on their glasses.
so basically there's like a light right in the corner. So what they do is they'll put something over that light so you don't notice you're being recorded. But if you pay attention, you're gonna go, why do you have a sticker right at that corner of your glasses? They're glasses that are recording.
And
So
you think about it, all these videos that you see in Walmart and places like that, how somebody's dressed a certain way. If they're in a bank, I've seen all kind of videos that people have been recorded, and they don't even
mhm,
know they're recorded, and yet they're on social media.
that's
It's
true.
about consent. What about consent?
That's true, because again, there's a lot of states where you will be arrested for doing that.
Yeah, some states
So
have privacy acts.
so I'm not saying to go out and be scared about going places, but just be aware.
But what happens when we go deeper with AI,
Oh,
facial
that's,
recognition?
that's a whole different game there.
Whole different animal. Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll run out of time here. I see. Yeah.
Well, actually, our conversation, especially when we talked about bathrooms, leads us into the last topic, which is to me going to be a hot one. But um, a Mississippi man was fired from his job as an independent contractor realtor after calling the police on a father who brought his young daughters into an empty women's bathroom at an Alabama Quick Trip gas station. The confrontation went viral on TikTok, sparking a nationwide debate. Now, people haven't heard of this story. What happened is there was a father, and he had two young children with him. I mean, they're probably like maybe 2 and 4. I mean, they were young kids, so they needed to use the bathroom. So he took them into the women's bathroom. Of course, he made sure no one was in there, and he brought them in there to have them use the bathroom. And then, as he was washing their hands, he was getting ready to open the door, let them out. And there was this guy just going ballistic. Why are you in the women's bathroom? You shouldn't be in here. And he actually called the police on this guy. So the police got there, And the police didn't arrest him. I mean, they understood, okay, you got young kids, because you can take your kids into a male or female bathroom
Right.
because you're not going to let them go in by themselves, or at least I would.
I wouldn't know.
And what was so interesting too is the woman who works there didn't see an issue. Okay. The police didn't see an issue. Anyone who has children, you've been in that situation where you've got a very, very young child that needs to use the bathroom. Now, I have a son, so he could go into the male bathroom with me. But if I had a daughter, I would be a little leery having my daughter in even a men's bathroom with other men or a woman's bathroom with other women. So either way, I would lock that door after I go in there with them.
Yeah.
And if it happens to be a woman, because it is my daughter, because I may not want her to go into a men's, I'm going to make sure it's empty and I will lock the door.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem. Some people see a big issue. Some people say, no, what's the problem? What do you think, Wanda? I'm really curious to hear what you think about this.
Oh my God, there's so many different things because that goes right back into what I was saying this past weekend, seeing this little young kid goes in the bathroom. Somebody taught him well because he locked that public door and the men were outside. And I definitely think that, it varies. And because I give him my testimony again, but this time my grandson was a little bit older, but he went to a bathroom in an area where I wasn't familiar with. I'm just getting him. I haven't had kids in a long time. And I'm like, what's taking him so long? So I'm with a group of people eating dinner, right? And they're looking at me being kind of concerned because they're used to sending their kids in the bathroom. No, this is an area that I'm not used to. My grandson he had to be about 13. It took him a long time to come back. So I went in there and I did a Bruce Lee. I kicked. Hey, are you in there? And I did see a guy at the urinal. I went back. Are you in there? Called his dad. I sure did. Make sure you need to come back. He's on his phone, not even realizing the danger that he's in and the embarrassment. Because I felt embarrassed, I'll do it again. I'll do it again. And then even for me, there are times if I have to go to the bathroom, the women's line long. I guess somebody watching my back. Hey, watch this back, and then because women's lines are always longer. Then one other funny one. I was at Walmart and I was with one of my students. I had a cleaning business in Nashville, and so we were stopping in Nashville to pick up some items. And so I told her, he wanted me to cash his check. No, he wanted to go cash his check. So I said, I got to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. I looked up and I saw men and women. Well, I went in the bathroom, but all I heard was, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And I said, "I'm in a man's bathroom." I swear I walked out like this. I had to go so bad. I saw the signs, but I went in there. Then I heard this guy say, "Hey, what's up?" I was totally embarrassed. I was in the men's bathroom. So we have and I think now with the transgenders, whatever, they have family bathrooms, they have men and they have women. You can have a family bathroom. Come on.
That's true. Now, I understand your grandson was 13, but do you agree with the father for taking his children into the women's bathroom?
I absolutely agree with him. There's no way. You wait. And like I said, they have the bathroom with the tables for the changing tables and stuff
Mhm.
like that. You change your baby with. Oh, absolutely. I would go if I have to go. I gotta go. You have to do what you have to do with the situation that you're faced with.
Yeah.
That there's no way in the world I would send my 2 year old or my 4 year old into the bathroom alone. They still learning how to potty train.
Well, but the other thing too is that me personally, I would not let my 2 year. I mean, I have a son, but if I had a 2 year old daughter, there's no way in hell I'm going to let my 2 year daughter go into any, even if it's a women's bathroom by herself.
Yeah,
Again, I'm going to make sure nobody's in there because I don't want to freak anyone out. But yeah, I'm going to go in with her and make sure she's good. Okay, that's just
yeah,
being a parent. Now,
absolutely.
there's some people that are going to go, no, that's not right, whatever. And 9 times out of 10, there are people that don't have kids.
Well, no, I know some people with kids, and I've been out with them, and they let the kid go. I'm like, you gonna let them go to the bathroom by himself? Oh, he can go. He's used to it. He can go.
Mm,
Because this
mm,
incident that happened Sunday, that was reported Sunday, I think it happened over the weekend. But what happened? It was a split second. He was in the bathroom, in the
mm.
stall, went in the stall where the child was. So all it takes is a quick second. It doesn't take a long time. No, 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 no. I wouldn't do
That's
it.
true. That's
No,
true.
sir. No, sir.
Please don't let your kids go to the bathroom by themselves if they're under 10 years old.
No.
Actually, if they're under 12 or even 13, you
Yeah,
know.
go in pairs, because people nowadays, man, you just don't know. You get. I went to this. It was a Mexican restaurant. Had threw a few back. I gotta go to the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom, and this tall man with this hat. What it was a statue. Now, why would you
Mm.
have? And I'm not gonna call the restaurant out. Why would you? The first thing you open the door up, and it's this tall man with this sombrero or whatever, like he's peeing. Why would you have that the first thing you walk into a women's bathroom?
Wow.
And I thought I made a mistake. I had to look up. That could, and I guess they got a joke. It's probably a camera laughing at people. I don't know, but it's real crazy. A really tall man with a hat, look like he's
Wow.
peeing when you first open the door. I don't get it. But some of my viewers will know which restaurant this was. Mexican restaurant. Got good food.
I guess
Yeah.
somebody's got a sick sense of humor there.
Very sick sense of humor. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I am really stunned at how fast this hour went.
Oh yeah.
But we had some great conversations, and just want to let everyone know to continue to watch us and support us. And also, if you want to see some bonus content, come over to lrodtvnetwork.com where you can see Thirsty Topics, you can see Thirsty Conversations. I also have a new documentary series that's on there as well, too, Legacy Makers. And then there's also some more new shows that will be coming very shortly. So definitely make sure that you support us by watching us, listening to us, or even coming to our streaming channel. Again, thank you all for your support. We really, really appreciate it, and we do not take it for granted.
Yes. Good
I'm
night.
Lawrence Elrod.
And I'm Wander P. You can follow me on all social media platforms as well. Rock TV.
Take care, everyone.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yep. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. Bye. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.